Good morning, Year 6, and welcome to Monday morning's reading lesson. Today we're taking a break from the freezing cold conditions of the Arctic and we're travelling to the much warmer country of Ghana. We're going to learn how the decisions we make as a consumer can improve the life chances of people working and living in the country. I'm going to share my screen with you now and we're going to talk about some of the changes that have been made to the way that you're going to access your reading lessons. So please make sure you have your paper and a piece of paper and a pencil ready. Okay, the first change is that you're no longer going to have your questions on a separate piece of paper. Instead, all of the questions are going to be embedded within the video. This means that you'll be able to flick between the two parts of the lesson really easily. You can have one tab with the YouTube video and the questions, and the other tab can contain the text on your computer so you can look through it. All questions that are in green are questions you are going to answer. I will tell you when to pause the video and when to answer those questions. All of those questions should be numbered neatly on your piece of paper down the left-hand side, and you should answer carefully. You do not need to write out the questions, but you do need to explain your answers in enough detail for it to make sense. So today, I told you that we're going to be learning more about Ghana. Ghana is a country in the west of Africa. The capital city is Accra, and many of the people living in Ghana make a living through farming. So we're going to learn today how fair trade can improve the life chances of those people who are trying to make a living through farming practices. So what is fair trade? Fair trade, you've probably heard of it, is when the money we pay for our products gives the producers enough to afford life's essentials. This is nutritious food, education, community improvements, and healthcare. If a product isn't fair trade, there's a chance that the people who are actually producing that product aren't seeing enough of the money. Today, we're going to talk about fair trade and how it can be so beneficial for the people who are benefiting from it. This is the text that you're going to be reading, but you can see it's quite a large text and the writing is quite small. So what we're going to do as we're reading through the video is I'm going to zoom into the text one paragraph at a time. As you're answering your questions, you're going to have to do the same and just zoom into the parts of the text that you think the answer can be found. So let's get started. Shop to spread a smile. Find out how the choices we make here in the British Isles can give the lives of people across the globe better chances. It's time to think about where the things we buy every day come from and how they're made. Fair trade helps more than 7 million people across Africa, Asia and Latin America by making sure that they get a fair price for the goods that they produce, like food, clothes and toys. By swapping our usual products for fair trade ones, we can make a huge difference to the lives of lots of people, like the Kuapa cocoa farmers in the Ashanti region of Ghana in Africa. Okay, the question that I'm going to model to you then, it's in black, that means it's my question. List 3 countries, and really that should say areas as these aren't actually countries. List 3 areas which benefit from fair trade practices. So I need to find 3 places where they benefit from fair trade. I'll scan for the word fair trade. It's time to think about where the things we buy from. Fair trade helps more than 7 million people across Africa, Asia and Latin America. Okay, now it's over to you. You're going to answer the next 2 questions. List 3 products which are commonly bought as fair trade. So 3 products which can commonly be bought as fair trade. And number 2, how can we help the farmers in the Ashanti region of Ghana? Please pause the video now and answer question 1 and 2. So at this point, you should have finished answering question 1 and 2, and I'm going to show you what the answers are. Our first question says list 3 products which are commonly bought as fair trade. So I'm looking for 3 items that can be fair trade. By making sure they get a fair price for the goods that they produce, like food, clothes and toys. Those are the 3 items we should have listed. Well done if you wrote those 3 down. Give it a tick if you said food, clothes and toys. Question number 2 is how? In what way? How can we help the farmers in the Ashanti region of Ghana? I'm going to scan for where we're talking about the Ashanti region. Here it is. So I need to go to the beginning of that sentence, which is all the way up here. By swapping our usual products for fair trade, we can make a huge difference to the lives of lots of people. That means our answer that we were looking for here for the second question was by swapping our usual products for fair trade ones, or for buying fair trade products. That's how we can make a difference to the lives of the people in the Ashanti region of Ghana. Next paragraph, bright idea. In 1878, a young Ghanaian called Tete Kwashi returned from working on a cocoa farm in Equatorial Guinea with a handful of cocoa seeds in his pocket. He'd learned that cocoa sold for a high price in Europe, where it's used to make chocolate, and believed that it would grow well in Ghana's hot climate. And he was right. Today, Ghana is the world's second largest cocoa producer, and these beans provide millions of people with the means to live. However, the cocoa in Ghana is grown on small family farms, and because of this, farmers can find it difficult to get a fair price from the big chocolate companies. This one is my question, true or false? Ghana is the largest producer of cocoa in the world. I remember hearing that around here. Today, Ghana is the second largest cocoa producer. Okay, that tells me that this one was a false question. Now it's time for you to have a go at your two questions. You've got your true or false question. Tete Kwashi was from Europe. Find it in the text and decide if it's correct. Question 4, true or false? The majority of farms in Ghana are small family-run businesses. Find it in the text and decide if it's true or false. Please can you pause the video now and answer question 3 and question 4 on your piece of paper. Okay, so I'm going to go through those questions. If you have not had enough time to answer question 3 and question 4, please pause the video now because I'm going to go through the answers. My first question is to decide whether or not Tete Kwashi was from Europe. In 1878, a young Ghanaian called Tete Kwashi returned from working on a cocoa farm in Equatorial Guinea. If he's a Ghanaian, that means he's from Ghana. Ghana, as we know, is in Africa and not Europe, so this is false. True or false? The majority of farms in Ghana are small, family-run businesses. So I'm looking for where we're talking about farms. I'm going to scan for the word farms. Farm in Equatorial Guinea, oh, that's not in Ghana. Keep on scanning for the word farm and I'll find, oh, here we go. However, the cocoa in Ghana is grown on small family farms and because of this. So that's true. It is grown on small family farms. Well done if you got that one correct. Okay, beans means business. Cocoa farmer Nana Frimpong Abrabrasi was so worried that Ghana's local farmers were going to lose out to big companies that he formed a group called a cooperative with other farmers in the area. They decided to collect and sell their own cocoa and use the profits to improve the lives of people in their communities. Then the farmers decided that they also wanted to make their own chocolate bars. So, with the help of charities like Comic Relief, they launched the Divine Fair Trade Milk Chocolate Bar. My question is why? And remember, when you see a why question, that means your answer should begin with because. Why did Nana Frimpong Abrabrasi form a cooperative group? Why did he form a cooperative group? I can see the word cooperative here, so I'll have to go back to the beginning of the sentence. Cocoa farmer Nana Frimpong Abrabrasi was so worried that Ghana's local farmers were going to lose out to big company that he formed a group called a cooperative. Okay, so the answer I'm looking for is because he was worried they were going to lose out to big companies. Okay, I'll just highlight the section. He was worried that they were going to lose out to big companies. Right, you've got two questions you're going to try now. Why did the farmers launch Divine Fair Trade Milk Chocolate? And what did the people spend their earnings on? Can you pause the video and try those two questions on your piece of paper? Okay, by this point, you should have had enough time to try those two questions. I'm going to go through the answers. Please make sure you've answered those questions on your paper before listening to me going through the answers. Why? So your answer needs to begin with because. Why did the farmers launch Divine Fair Trade Milk Chocolate? So you should have scanned for Divine Fair Trade Milk Chocolate. So with the help of charities like Comic Relief, they launched the Divine Fair Trade Milk Chocolate. Oh, that's not very helpful. I need to go back a little bit. They decided to collect and sell their own cocoa and use the profits to improve the lives of people in their communities. Then the farmers decided that they also wanted to make their own chocolate bar. So why did they do it? They did it to improve the lives of people in their communities. And what did the people spend their earnings on? What did the people spend their profits on? Well, earnings is the same as profits, so this question actually is basically exactly the same as the previous one. They wanted to improve the lives of people in their communities. Sorry that those two questions were so similar. Okay, next paragraph. Sweet deal. The Kuapa cocoa farmers used their papapa beans, meaning best of the best in the Twi language, to make the divine chocolate bars, and they were soon on sale in supermarkets across the British Isles. The Kuapa cocoa farmers own half of the Divine Chocolate Company, which means that as well as getting a good price for their papapa cocoa beans, they also get a share of the profits from the sale of the chocolate bars. This money has been invested into the communities of the Kuapa Cocoa members to build wells for clean drinking water, new toilet facilities and schools. I'm realising now, this question on the previous page, I had intended, what did these people spend their earnings on? Sorry, this question here was meant to be for the next paragraph. Sorry about that confusion. Okay, my question, what does papapa mean? I need to find that in the text. Here we go, papapa, meaning best of the best. So my answer there is best of the best. Okay, let me read you your two questions. Question 7, what are the two benefits of owning half of the Divine Chocolate Company? There are two benefits, so you need two answers to get the mark. Finally, fact or opinion. The money from fair trade farming has been spent well. Please can you pause the video now and have a go at answering those questions. Oops, don't know why we've got a ruler all of a sudden. Right, you should have answered all of those questions, so please make sure you've answered the questions before you continue listening. What are the two benefits of owning half of the Divine Chocolate Company? So here it says they own half of the Divine Chocolate Company, which means that as well as getting a good price for their papapa cocoa beans, they also get a share of the profits from the sale. Those are your two options. If you also said this money has been invested in communities, so something about investing the money in communities, maybe building wells, clean drinking water, new toilet facilities and schools, those answers could also have been correct. But really, I was looking for the fact that they get a good price and they can share they get a share of the profits. However, all of the other answers can also be accepted too. Fact or opinion, the money from fair trade farming has been well spent. We know that the phrase well is an opinion phrase, so this is an opinion. It's up to you to decide whether or not you think that money has been well spent. It can't be a fact. A helping hand. 14-year-old Jennifer Oforiwa Kusi's father is a cocoa farmer and a member of the Kuapa Cocoa. When she was younger, Jennifer had to leave her family to go to school in Kumasi, 2 hours from her village. Now, the money from the sale of fair trade cocoa beans and Divine Chocolate has helped to fund a school just a short walk away from her village. I love my school and my favourite subject is English, says Jennifer. When I grow up, I want to be a nurse so that I can help the people in my community when they get ill. Fact or opinion, Jennifer loves school. Be careful with this one. If we were saying I love school, that would be an opinion. But it is reported here that Jennifer has said, I love my school. Therefore, it is a fact. Well, it's a fact that she says she loves school. I suppose it doesn't say Jennifer says she loves her school. What do you think? I'm not 100% sure. In your comments on Seesaw, can you, when you upload this work, tell me, what do you think? Is this a fact or an opinion? When you upload your work, write in the comments box the phrase Jennifer loves her school. Is that a fact or an opinion with your explanation? For example, I think it's a fact because. Okay, question 9. Why did Jennifer Oforiwa Kusi have to move away from her family? Question 10, according to Jennifer, what is one benefit of her school? And question 11, how has Divine Chocolate helped Jennifer? What I'd like you to do is pause the video now and have a go at answering those 3 questions. Make sure you're pausing the video to answer the questions as we're going through. Okay, I'm going to go through your answers now. Why did Jennifer have to move away from her family? Because she had to go to school in Kumasi, 2 hours away from her village. According to Jennifer, so that's got to be something she is saying in her speech, what's one benefit of her school? She wants to become a nurse when she grows up, or because she loves it, or because English is very fun, or because she can help the people in her community when they get ill. How has Divine Chocolate helped Jennifer? On this one, really, it's kind of up to you what you thought the answer might have been. You could have said it has helped her because now she can go to a school closer to her family. Maybe you said because now she can live with her family. Maybe you said that she goes to a school where she's learning English. Maybe you said because it means that now she can become a nurse and help people in her community when they get ill. All of those answers would have been the correct answer for question 11. Swap it. This year's Fair Trade Fortnight runs from the 22nd of February to the 7th of March, and we want you to swap your usual products for those with the stamp of approval from the Fair Trade Foundation. By thinking more carefully about the products you buy and where they come from, you can help to make a difference to the lives of poor people around the world. So when you hit the shops with mum or dad, keep an eye peeled for those Fair Trade marks. When does Fair Trade Fortnight end? This is my question. It's a when, so I'm looking for a date. 22nd of February would be the wrong answer because that's when it begins. So I'm actually looking for the 7th of March. Okay, now it's over to you for 12 and 13. Question 12, how can you make a difference? And question 13, how do you know that a product is fair trade? Notice this is a 2-mark question, so there's 2 things for you to say. What I'd like you to do is pause the video now and answer question 12 and 13. Make sure you've paused the video so you can answer these questions before I go through the answers. Okay, how can you make a difference? This year's Fair Trade Fortnight runs from the 22nd of March, and we want you to swap your usual products for those with the stamp of approval from the Fair Trade Foundation. By thinking more carefully about the products you buy and where they come from, you can help make a difference to the lives of poor people. So you can make a difference by swapping your products or thinking more carefully. How do you know that a product is fair trade? You can, when you hit the shop, keep your eyes peeled for the Fair Trade mark, and also you could say the stamp of approval from the Fair Trade Foundation. So you're looking for products with the stamp of approval from the Fair Trade Foundation, and you're looking for the Fair Trade mark. Okay, make your mark. The Fair Trade mark doesn't just apply to food and clothes. You can make your school fair trade too. Follow these top tips to find out how. Get started. Ask your teacher to help you set up a group which meets to discuss why fair trade is important and how you can get the rest of your school involved. Perfect plan. Write a fair trade policy for your school and get it signed by your head teacher. This will help everyone in the school understand what you're doing and why it's important. Fair food. Persuade your school to start buying fair trade products like chocolate for your tuck shop and sugar, rice and vegetables for your school dinner. Given that we don't really have chocolate in our school, I think that would be a bit of a no-go, but you could definitely try convincing Miss Ryan to ensure that all of the sugar, rice and vegetables are fair trade. Take action. Ask your teacher to log on to fairtrade.org.uk to fill out an application form to become a fair trade school. You'll have the stamp of approval in no time. Bake Off. You've probably seen Divine Chocolate in the shops, but did you know that the company is owned by cocoa farmers in Ghana, Africa? So this Fair Trade Fortnight, why not cook up a Divine Chucky treat for your friends? You could even bake these yummy brownies. Does your school use any of the Fair Trade Foundation's 3,000 licensed products? If not, talk to your teachers about how important it is to support the people who grow our food and get them to help. You never know, your school could even get a Fair Trade award. Cool. So your question is question 14. How can you get your school involved in Fair Trade Fortnight? I'm going to say I need you to find 2 different ways you can get your school involved in Fair Trade Fortnight. This will be interesting because I'll see who's listening carefully to my instructions because they might only say one thing. Please pause the video now and write down 2 ways you can get your school involved in Fair Trade Fortnight. 2 ways to get your school involved in Fair Trade Fortnight. Please make sure you've finished answering this question because I'm going to go through my answers now. So I'm going to list all of the things that you could have done in order to get involved in Fair Trade Fortnight. You can set up a group. You can write a fair trade policy. You can persuade your school to start buying fair trade products. You can ask your teacher to log on to fairtrade.co.uk. You could bake some fair trade brownies. Or you could talk to your teachers about how important it is to support people who grow our food. Any of those answers, but we were looking for 2 of them. Well done if you got 2 answers. Right. The next questions can be found all over the text. Okay, so previously I've given the part of the text that you'll find the answers right next to your questions. You've now got another 5 questions that you're going to answer. And at this point, you'll have to, when you pause the video, get the reading text in front of you so that you can find the answers. How does fair trade help people? Question 16. Why do the Ghanaian farmers find it hard to get a fair deal from the big chocolate companies for their cocoa? 17. How does Nana Frimpong's initiative benefit local communities? 18. What is the main ingredient in the Divine chocolate bars? 19. Explain how Jennifer has benefited from the sale of fair trade cocoa and Divine chocolate. Please pause the video now and go away and answer those 5 questions. We'll go through the answers afterwards, so please make sure you rewatch the or come back and finish watching the video in order to mark your work. So 5 more questions for you to do. Make sure you've got the YouTube video open on one side and you've got the text open on the other. Have a go at answering these 5 questions, please. I'm going to start going through the answers, so please make sure you've answered all 5 questions. As I'm going through the answers, you'll have to listen carefully because I'm not going to write the answers down. I'm going to tell you what the answers were. How does fair trade help people? For this first question, it was quite an open-ended question. There are lots of things that you could have said. You could have taken some information from the first paragraph. You could have said, by making sure people get a fair price for their products. Or you could have spoken about the specific changes that you've seen. For example, improving local communities or sending people to schools more locally, building wells, making sure people get a fair deal. There's lots of things you could have said for that one. If you've got an answer that you're not sure is correct, you can just upload it and I'm sure your teacher will have a look at it. Question 16. Why do the Ghanaian farmers find it hard to get a fair deal from the big companies on their chocolate? This answer would have been found in the paragraph bright idea. Why do the Ghanaian farmers find it hard to get a fair deal? It's in this paragraph here. Today, Ghana is the world's 2nd largest cocoa producer, and these beans provide millions of people with the means to live. However, the cocoa in Ghana is grown on small family farms, and because of this, farmers can find it difficult to get a fair price. So the reason you're looking for is because the cocoa in Ghana is grown on small family farms. Well done if you skimmed and scanned for the phrase fair price and then found it's because of the small farms. Okay, your next question. How does Nana Frimpong's initiative benefit local communities? How does it benefit local communities? Scan for the phrase local communities. You can see communities here. So they decided to collect and sell their own cocoa and use the profits to improve the lives of people in their communities. Then the farmers decided that they also wanted to make their own chocolate bar. So with the help of charities like Comic Relief, they launched the Divine Fair Trade Milk Chocolate Bar. So you could have said, improve the lives of people in their communities. But does that really actually give us enough information? How does it improve local communities? Not really. So we're actually going to take this paragraph, and that was a bit of a red herring. It seemed like the right paragraph to look at, but actually the correct answer was found in Sweet Deal. This also is talking about the Divine chocolate bar, and we can see it's a continuation where it goes into a little bit more detail. This money has been invested into the communities of Kuapa Cocoa members to build wells for clean drinking water, new toilet facilities and schools. Those were the answers we were looking for question 17. So well done if you said building wells for clean drinking water, new toilet facilities and schools. Okay, question 18. What is the main ingredient in Divine chocolate bars? The main ingredient in Divine chocolate bars. You could have said the papapa beans, or you could have said cocoa beans, or you could have said papapa cocoa beans. Remember, the phrase papapa beans means the best of the best ones. So it's the best beans are used for the Divine chocolate bar. Okay, explain how Jennifer has benefited from the sale of fair trade cocoa and Divine chocolate. In what way has Jennifer benefited? Well, the most obvious way is it's now just a short walk away from her village to go to school. But you could also talk about her life chances have improved. She's now planning on becoming a nurse when she's older, so she's improved her life chances as well as the fact that it's much, much closer to home and she doesn't have to leave her family anymore. All of those would have been possible answers to explain how Jennifer's life has been improved. Well done to everybody who's worked hard in today's lesson and has managed to answer and mark all 17 questions. Make sure you upload your work onto Seesaw and we'll see you tomorrow for another reading lesson. Bye.